Going on, y'all? It's Greg. Greg said it here at the airport. Thought I'd just go ahead and get this video out the way here. Gonna be about to board my flight, and when I get back, I'm gonna lose a couple hours. So let me get this out the way because I don't want to be trying to do this when I get home later. And I wanted to get my inspiration, motivation in. As you see, got the airport in the background. On the way back from Colorado, as you all know, I was at the game. It's a tough game, but a nice live, kind of trying to recap what happened at the game. And I guess kind of at the end, I kind of got a little more into how I really felt. I don't know if everybody kind of stayed to the end. I know live videos, people kind of jump in and out. It's like an hour live, but make sure y'all go check it out if you haven't yet. Like, share, subscribe. As always, I got a lot more content I'm going to be dropping, like video blog type stuff from the trip. But one of the things I noticed, the energy was definitely different, and I don't always put that on the crowd. I don't always put that on the fans, even though I think it is a losing spirit or whatever going on. I've talked about it before, where you kind of have to get accustomed. Even one of the fans said, if we get in there, how to get accustomed to winning. And you don't even know how to win. You're so used to losing. It's like either afraid to cheer or you don't know how to cheer because you haven't done it in a while. Or, I don't know, some fear or something. I don't know. It's like you have a packed stadium and it's so quiet and so pleasant. And it's not like your team's getting blown away, but it's almost like you're acting like you're still getting blown away or something. It's weird. You have to see it. And I've seen that in other situations, like I mentioned earlier. I've seen that in situations where people have a hard time cheering when that culture is not a winning culture. But when you go to a winning culture, it's like the fans have a culture of celebrating and cheering. They know what to do. They have their chants. And it's like everybody's on the same cue. It's not a hassle. It's like you got a winning team, your team winning, and still like, or they in the game, and it's like, it's 90% of the people like sleep. And that leads me to my other point I mentioned. The late games, it's a setup. They killing Colorado with the late games. 5 out of 6 is ridiculous. It's not a high school football team where all your games, going to be at night, and you actually practice late at night. But, for Colorado to be in a situation where they keep playing late, and like, this is clearly the latest one. You wasn't playing a Pacific Coast team. You wasn't playing a team that was from California or Oregon. You have no excuse. So it's like, I knew it was a setup from the beginning. Even Coach Prime kind of tried to mention it, but at the same time, it's like, what you gonna do about it? You know he can't, or he's not. But that's the ultimate setup that I believe. The setup is on. Night game after night game. The one game that they did play well, it was closer to the game time, the practice time that they normally have. So it's like, go figure. You say it was about them being close. Yeah, watch more film. Yeah, that's true, and that's nice. But their bodies are more inclined. And I kind of got into this at the end of my video. Like, anybody knows, you want to be real with yourself or just open your eyes. Blind can't lead the blind. You got people who are working night shift. Your body just don't adjust. You're telling your body to do something it's not supposed to be doing. Some people adjust better than others. Some people work early in the morning. Some people say, I never can work early in the morning. So it's a lot of things that it just takes a lot of adjustment to do. And you just don't do it overnight or within a week or two, especially if you want to perform at a certain level. So I just feel like you should be more strategic. And that's what I was kind of getting on, like, this week, really the last couple of weeks. So tell these boys to practice at night. People want to argue with me. They practice at night. I watch the freaking stuff just like everybody else. Anybody who actually follow it. And I actually know when they practice, because they put out the content every day. I see where they practice at. I see if it's going to be out on the practice fields or it's going to be right outside the facility. I see that. I see you doing it on the indoor. I see if it's dark outside. I seen they had a night practice too. But they really should have been doing this like for the last couple weeks. They really should have just went extreme with it for everybody. Like, everybody's mental acuity is different. Even the coaches, they're not used to functioning at that time. So you kind of have to force yourself to be more prepared for that situation, because if you don't, you're gonna go into some type of shock. It's gonna be some type of shock situation, and that's what I believe. That's where your slow starts coming from. I mean, that's where everything's coming from. And if you don't acknowledge that, and you keep watching the same result, then who the joker and who the fool, because you're seeing it, you're verbalizing it, and you're not really doing nothing about it. And your slow starts have a pattern, year after year, week after week. You're not full game. You're not this. Look at when you're doing it. For the most part, just pay attention. Like the data, just pay attention. And I think that's something you have to do in life. You gotta be adjustable. You gotta be aware. You can't have too much pride. You gotta kind of be in a position where you're willing to accommodate and do what you need to do to win. If you need to be uncomfortable, be uncomfortable. I always talk about like the Navy SEALs and how they go about, how they do what they do. Like when they're ready to go to war, they put you in all the most uncomfortable situations, particularly in the situations you're gonna face. If you're going into an environment where it's the tundra, it's the jungle, they gotta prepare you for that environment and what you're gonna come across. If you're gonna be in the cold or potentially in a place that gets really cold, they gotta put you out there. They gotta put you in those elements in a consistent manner where you know what to do. It's not a one-day thing. It's not, okay, we're going to try this evening, we're going to ship you over there. It's like months of harsh, extreme training. And that's what it really is, because you got to be prepared. Put you out there in the cold with no survival stuff to say survive. No help, no equipment. You got to figure out how to make fires, how to build shelter. You ain't got no clothes, you don't have no tools. They got to prepare you for that situation, because it can happen. Like, give you everything and then get you out there in a situation you're not ready for. You got to put you out there hungry. They're not going to feed you. Find your own food. You got to get used to not eating, because sometimes you're going to be out there hungry. You're not going to always have food. I can't put you in the best case situation all the time because it's comfortable for me. It may be comfortable for you. I honestly feel like Colorado put themselves in a comfortable situation, and they keep getting into uncomfortable people. It's nothing that these people should be able to do. You know they're foul. They're putting you in situations where they're trying to make you lose. And one key way they're doing it is night. They know when you practice. Everybody knows when you practice. It's so easy to set up, so easy to predict. And everybody know basic science. If I'm trying to stop you, you said they're trying, you know they're coming at you all kinds of ways in the media every day. You think they're just doing that? You think they're just gonna just let you win? They're gonna do everything they can under this sun without being obvious. And some stuff is even obvious. They're doing what they can to put you in a bad situation. And with the night thing, your whole key will end up being to be able to adjust, shut the whole morning thing down. It's not like you didn't know. You had at least a couple weeks. They waited to schedule it after the UCL game, all right, So you had a couple weeks to say, you know what, let's shut this mess down. I know I want to be in bed. It's comfortable for me. Coach Prime said he go to bed at 8. I know you want to go shut it down for other stuff, but we're going to shut down. We're going to flip our schedule. What we do in the evening, we're going to do in the morning. We're going to do our meetings. We're going to do all that in the morning or whatever, and we're going to practice only in the evening. We're going to practice when the sun get ready to go down, because you're going to play. I heard this comment, and that's before I even did my live. I kind of went back and listened to some stuff I didn't listen to last night. It was too late. And they said Will Shepard dropped the ball because he lost it in the lights. Well, duh, do he practice in the lights? That's exactly what I said. You need to practice in the element and get familiar with what you play in. You need to practice in the cold, cool weather with no sun out. Deep, dark blue, almost black skies. The ball is a lot different in a brown ball in a dark sky than a light sky. The balls look a lot different up in them bright lights sitting right over your head, and the sun way up. The sun may not even have direct exposure to you like that, but them lights do. Them big bright lights. They say you're getting used to play up on them bright lights. They say that for a reason. You have to adjust to those bright lights. So how do you get somebody prepared to play at night in lights and cool when you're only practicing or primarily practicing, knowing you got a game and you're out there like it, in the sun, nice warm weather, body is fresh, versus playing at the end of the day when you're not fresh, you've been sitting around all day. I need you to sit all around all day and then practice so I can see how you respond. So I see how I respond. And I need to keep doing that. And if I'm going to grind on anything, I'm going to push on anything, I need to push you in that environment to get your mind shake out of it. I can't wait till the game to shake you out of that. That's not fair. This is like saying you working a day schedule and you're working from 9 to 5 for months and years. Then I say, all right, well, the next couple of weeks, we just gonna shift to, you're gonna come at 8 and you're gonna leave at 4 in the morning. Or something like that, at 5 in the morning. And you're like, I'm coming to work at 8 at night and I'm getting off at 5 in the morning. And you think you just gonna just jump out there and do that? Or maybe one day try, a couple days try of doing that. You didn't give me your body a series of adjustments. That's what it's like. Because realistically, in real life, you're not gonna put yourself in that situation. If you do, you're gonna fail. I mean, maybe that's how most people fail. They're not prepared for the obstacles that can come at them. It's almost like, you know, when you train your children, they say you raise your children to be able to survive on their own. You gotta teach them how to manage their own money. You gotta teach them how to clean up all the stuff they don't like doing. And when they grow up and they say, oh, this is adult and it's hard, that means you just didn't prepare them. Because a lot of that stuff you can do right up under the roof with your parents. That's all about strategic and preparation. Your preparation is a big part of your success. And ultimately, it's prepared us for success. And ultimately, clearly applies to Colorado as far as preparing them for success. I think that's what ultimately where they dropped the ball. Of course, I'll be one of the few who talk about it, and I'm one of the few who've been talking about it. I said, get the message to them guys. They didn't take that serious. And all that weird stuff that go to happen. You can look at all the symptoms of it, sluggish, lethargic. You can look at all the symptoms of they just not responsive. They slow starts, using all these terms describing somebody who's in the element that their mind and their body are not in agreement on. And I say, get this out to them. And clearly it didn't, or clearly they didn't care. Well, now look where we at. You look like last year. Well, what happened last year? Did they not play a lot of night games? Did they not play the worst games during the night? The worst games they played was in the nighttime. Think about it. That prime time ain't prime time. It's a prime time trap. And I think prime time recognizing your life just like they better recognize it. I say that. But I'm just Greg said it. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all share, make sure y'all subscribe. And I'll talk to y'all soon.